Hello, welcome to Johnny the Greek's Free Real Estate. This is episode 14. I am Johnny the Greek, and this week for our interview, we've got no one. It's just me. So it is 4th of July holiday week. Everyone's got family stuff going on. I just got back from my multiple month work trip in Ohio. I did not feel like lining anything up this week. So this is going to be a pure filler episode. I'm just going to answer all the questions I've been asking everyone else these last 13 episodes. So if that does not strike your fancy, that's fine. No worries. We'll be back, normal Monday in a week or so. And we've got plenty more guests lined up to take us most of the way, if not all the way, to the start of the NFL season. So, yeah, this is just more to fill space and to keep it going. Did not want to break the streak. So, you got me this week, and that's it. So, let's get into it. So, we'll start with a disclaimer. I'm probably going to say something terrible at some point. Keep that in mind. If there are any kids in the room, please consider headphones for yourself or for them. This may not be safe for work. And let's get into it. So, okay, what have I? And you guys are going to actually get to see the background questions here too that I'm asking because I'm asking myself. So that'll be kind of neat, maybe if you're still here. Okay, so what have I been up to? Well, you guys know I've been doing this. I've been doing this interview series all off season. This has been one of the two off season projects we got going on, or I got going on rather. The other one is going to be the Cats of Fantasy Twitter article series. So we are cooking up the league as we speak. That's going to be on My Fantasy League. If you are a cat owner and interested, please shoot me a DM on Twitter, and we'd love to have you. It's going to be a cat themed league with graphics, custom graphics made by Nate of IDP Guys. We're going to have divisions like the Chonk division and, memeable cats. It's going to be great. So everyone that's a cat owner and wants to play will join. And the only requirement is that you send me some information about your cat, how you, came to own your cat, what their personality is like, any funny stories with them, anything like that. And each article is going to be about that cat owner, the cat that owner has, their personality, quirks, funny stories. We'll parlay those funny stories or tie them in rather to, you know, little short segments on cat psychology, things like that. And then we're also going to tie in fantasy football. So that owner will talk about their strategy for this startup. Looks like it's going to be super flex, full IDP, the typical shenanigans. So you'll get some fantasy football strategy. You'll get some cat information. You'll get some funny stories, all in each article for each cat owner. Probably going to be about 12 articles total, taking us up to the start of the season. So between that and this, that's what I've been working on this off season. You guys have heard all my thoughts about recent stuff, Super Bowl, college football title game, all that. Although those aren't recent anymore. It's like July now. So yeah, not a bunch to talk about there. I am looking forward to the World Cup coming up. It's going to be a little weird that it's running concurrently with the NFL season, but that'll be cool, I think. Yeah, all right. So let's get into I've got these all in sections. So it's, catching up, getting to know you, stupid early predictions, personal questions, hot water questions, wrap up. I mean, if you've been listening the past 13 episodes, you already know what we're going to be talking about. So when did I start watching football? I was 5. I started watching football at 5 years old, much like a lot of the other guys that we've talked to here these past 13 weeks. It's something my dad got me into. As a little kid, I would watch him swearing and throwing shit at the TV and wonder what could be that interesting or that important that would cause this normally, pretty laid back guy to flip out every Sunday and call the refs every name under the sun, and accuse the Giants of cheating and paying off the refs, even though, we're Cowboys fans. Like, we're the ones paying off the refs, not the Giants. But he did have his conspiracy theories, which was interesting. But yeah, I mean, I just always wondered what could be that important that would drive him that crazy. So that's how I got into football. It was a good age to get in. Cowboys won their Super Bowls in the early 90s when I was like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. So at 5, they were, just before that. They were just before getting the triplets and getting into things. So yeah, it was a good time to get into football. A lot of my friends did as well. We all had the starter jackets and all that. It was good stuff. Okay, what do I do for a living? I think most of you know by now that have been readers and listeners at IDP Guys for the past few years. But I work in the substance use disorder field, setting up. Well, I was setting up facilities for drug treatment across the country. I just did one in Ohio, did one in Rhode Island before that. But I parlayed that into a promotion. So yeah, I'll be doing some stuff with the alumni association of the company I work for now. So that'll be good stuff. Won't have to travel as often. So that's what I do, because we'll get into this later, but I am in recovery myself from drugs and alcohol. And now I get to help other people get over that and get back to a normal, happy, healthy life. And it's beautiful, man. I'll tell you, it is beautiful. Like, I could probably make more money working for some fucking corporation screwing people over for the bottom line, but that's stupid. That's not me, right? At the end of the night, I get to put my head on the pillow and know I made a difference, and I'm actually doing something that matters. Um, that's probably part of the reason why I don't do this stuff as much anymore either. I'm not trying to make it here. I don't give a shit about that. I make plenty of money. I've got a good job. I make a difference in real life. This isn't real life. This is just fantasy sports. So that's what I do for a living. We all know I'm a Cowboys fan. My outlook is not good this season. I think we're in for a bad season, a real bad season. Last year was our shot. I think you guys heard me talking about this with Jace a couple weeks ago. Last year was the most talented roster we had in a long time. And now we're down Amari Cooper and Randy Gregory. So I do not think we're going to do any better than last year. And last year we couldn't beat any good teams with the exception of the Chargers. So yeah, I am not looking forward to this season as a Cowboys fan. I think the Eagles win the division. I think if we're lucky, we get a wild card, and that's pretty much the extent of it for this season. It just stinks, man. The way the wide receiver market worked out, losing Amari Cooper like that for a hand sandwich, and then we all know that defensive line and pass rush is super important today's NFL. So losing Randy Gregory like that really hurt as well. And I remember reading that we were close to signing him, but Denver offered just a little bit more. So that's unfortunate. But I think they'll be okay. I think they'll have a winning record, maybe get in as a wild card team, but we're not going anywhere. It'll be Rams or Bucks that go to the Super Bowl this year out of the NFC for sure. Not the Cowboys. So yeah, outlook not great. Favorite story from college or high school? We've gotten some good stories out of this question the past 13 episodes. I think my favorite was probably when Josh talked about throwing the garlic butter out the window in Cincinnati and the homeless guy catching them and getting them almost arrested. That was a pretty good one. My favorite story from college or high school would probably be from college. So I went to Keene State, and anyone that's familiar with that school knows I did not learn anything except how to do more drugs, drink more booze, and sleep with different ladies. That's all that school's good for, and it was a great time. Don't get me wrong, but we would start drinking Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, always, and go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday too in football season because we'd end up doing wings and beer and stuff. And anyone that knows, those 3-4 day binges, boy, that can lead to some trouble. I remember one summer I was working there over the summer at college, and we were doing like cutting lawns and stuff. And it had been a bender, 3-day bender, and it was a Monday, and it was like 95 degrees out. And I cut a fart and trusted it, and ended up shitting my pants while cutting some lawns. Up in New Hampshire. So I remember I had to wipe my ass with some leaves and go home and change my pants. And That was not great. I took a lot of flack for that for a while until my partner that I had worked with all these, did all these lawns with and maintained all these properties with, stepped in a huge pile of dog shit. So then that made us even, and we both had our terrible poop adventure for the summer. So that evened us right out. But yeah, that's probably my. I don't know. I mean, I think it's funny. The day I don't think that stuff's funny, I'm dead inside, but you guys may not. I think it's hilarious though. I thought I was fine cutting a fart and I shit my pants. That's always going to be funny. So that's my story right there. Family or pets? Yeah. So I think most of you know I've got a fat cat, Peanut. She is pretty terrific. I've got a 2-year-old niece who's also pretty terrific. No kids myself. That's more a result of the decades spent drinking and doing drugs. I'm behind the 8 ball when it comes to that stuff compared to most people. I'm still learning to be an adult at almost 40 years of age. So that's fine though. I had to go through what I had to go through to get here, and I'm happy where I am here, 100%. I've got perspective that a lot of other people don't have. So I'm glad I went through it. And if the worst thing that came out of that is I don't have kids yet, that's fucking fine. Whatever, plenty of time. So yep, no direct kids myself, but plenty of good family. So how and when did I get into fantasy football? So this was a college thing, freshman year of college, probably 2003. Yep, 2003. So our first league was a Yahoo redraft league. Team defense, and it was not even head to head. It was points total, and I came in second first year. Second year playing, we switched over to IDP, and I won my first title in 2004. And that was a wrap after that. Since that point, it's been 8 Yahoo redraft leagues every year, multiple dynasty leagues through MFL, Sleeper, Fantrax, Best Balls through the old draft app, or through Sleeper or MFL Eliminators now. Um, DFS, all of it, IDP only leagues. And a newer thing we've been getting into lately is no bench, no IR leagues, all waivers leagues, where you're forced into horrendous decisions each and every week and find yourself cutting studs all the time just to try and make the playoffs, or not cutting those guys and seeing if you can win a matchup down a position or two or three. It's all about adapting in the moment. So the weirder and the more challenging the league, the better. I'm into as much of that as humanly possible because steel sharpens steel. And by thinking outside the box, it makes me better at everything when it comes to fantasy football. Um, so, yep, that's how I started, and it's really just taken off from there, as most of you know. So, any hobbies beyond fantasy football? Tons, absolutely tons. Golf, D&D, go to the movies a lot, go with Nate often. Um, you know, writing, this and other stuff too. I've been thinking about moving into like military history writing and stuff like that. Um, yeah, PlayStation, tons of things, many coals in the fire. So yeah, fantasy football is like literally not even 1% of my life. Um, so other sports, yep, like college basketball, regular basketball, World Cup, international soccer. That's all good stuff. Um, and then let's see, how did we get into writing and ranking? Okay, so that's a decent story. So when IDP Guys was created, this was got to be 4 or 5 years ago now. I think it was 2017, so 5 years ago. And the idea was Nate bought some podcasting equipment and wanted to just do a podcast, and had looked around and not seen many people that were talking about IDP, just in general. At that point he was working for Detroit Lions podcast, so he was already on fantasy Twitter and had a pretty good idea of what was out there, and he was right. Back in the day there was Davenport, Mike Wohlert, Tom. It's about it. Maybe Sitzman. It was a different landscape back then. No one was talking IDP. There was definitely, an open space there. So, we wanted to step in as a podcast, and it really just took off from there. We did the IDP Guys podcast. We did well over 130 episodes of that over multiple years. That turned into a website where the first staff was just me and Joey and Nate, Gary Tipster, Sam Stompy, the Scott Fishbowl winner, if anyone remembers him. Those were the first guys, and we did all the writing. We were the entire site, like the 3 or 4 of us. That was it for a long time, is us doing everything. Start sits, charts, waivers, injury report, the whole 9 yards. We were the entire site for a long time, and it shows. It shows. If you look at lifetime stats for IDP Guys, we crossed 1 million hits a while ago, a couple of years ago. And of those first 1 million hits, me and Joey had over 500,000 of them combined between us. So that's insane, man. Like, we were the whole site for a long time, and it's really developed to the point where I don't have to do shit anymore. It's beautiful. We've got a full staff. We've got investors. I just sit back and do literally whatever the hell I want, and the thing is on autopilot, and it's doing really well. But that's not how it always was. So that's kind of how we got into writing and ranking. Was podcast turned into website, turned into we needed writers. I figured I'd give it a shot, and I've published over 200 articles since that point. So it worked out well. Okay, any sleepers that we're banging the drum for this season? Beyond the ones we've talked about these last 13 episodes, nope, not really, because I'm not in football mode. I do not give a shit right now. It's July. Don't care. We're lucky I'm doing this. And I'm doing this mostly because I wanted to get to know some of my favorite people that I talk to all the time during the season, that we work with, that we do projects with. I wanted to get to know them better as people. I don't give a flying fuck about fantasy football right now, beyond the best balls we're doing and stuff like that. Just, staying up to date with ADP. That's about it. So no, I don't have any sleepers for you. Don't care. I'll let you know after week 1. But Mount Rushmore of IDP grades, that's a great question. And we've had some excellent answers here the past, 3 months or so. We only get 4, and I think one's got to be a linebacker. It's definitely between Luke Kuechly and Patrick Willis. I'd probably go Kuechly, just had a little bit better career, was a little more explosive over time. You got to put Aaron Donald there. He's been the preeminent DT for a long time, and that doesn't look to be going away anytime soon. And just due to the nature of defensive tackle, I mean, it is such a you have it or you don't position, and with him, you've got it. It is such a game changer to have that guy on your team, for real life and for fantasy football. Donald has been well deserving of the Mount Rushmore for IDP. So Donald, Kuechly. I'm going to put Antoine Winfield Sr. up there. Not a lot of you guys will remember him, but back in the day, he was one of, if not the greatest IDP cornerbacks that ever existed. This guy scored like a safety 1, but you could put him in your corner slot every week for, almost a decade, just, year after year after year. Absolutely insane production. So he was great. He was the first cheat code corner for IDP, I feel like. And we're going to need one more, probably be JJ Watt. Nothing you can say bad about him except for, the back injuries and whatnot. Beyond that, though, the guy had multiple 20-sack seasons. He caught touchdowns at one point as like a tight end, wannabe tight end. If he was healthy, he was a monster. It was that simple. A lot of people have said Jared Allen recently, and yeah, I agree with that. But JJ Watt's ceiling was way higher than Jared Allen's was, so that would probably be my other guy right there. So Kuechly, Donald, JJ Watt, and Winfield Sr. would be my Mount Rushmore IDP right there. All right, let's move into our stupid early predictions for the season. So the ones, we've talked about this the last 3 months. Inside linebacker 1, the answer that most people give is Darius Leonard or Roquan Smith. I'm a Roquan guy because Roquan is not made of glass, unlike Leonard. And and just the nature. I mean, I know this doesn't matter, and I know everyone always likes to be, it's stupid, doesn't matter. Listen, it's cold, it's windy. The Bears' offense is shit. I don't know if that's going to mean more snaps for them. I just know that that's going to mean it's harder to pass in Chicago than it is indoors somewhere, right? So I just feel like there might be more running. That helps Roquan. Um, Besides, Roquan plays 100% of snaps. He's one of, if not the most talented linebackers out there, period. He's young. He's not going anywhere. The sky's the limit. Roquan is the safest LB1, I feel like. I mean, he probably won't end up being it because it's almost impossible to predict, but that'd be my bet. I'm a Roquan guy, not a Darius Leonard guy. Outside linebacker one, I mean, it's going to be TJ Watt. You know, other guys that could challenge for it. I mean, I don't know. We never know. Rashawn Gary was an answer that I got recently that I really liked. He had a great season. Harold Landry too. Harold Landry quietly was really excellent last year. So either of those guys could challenge, but it'll be TJ Watt. And then defensive end one. I mean, it's Nick Bosa or it's Myles Garrett. That's pretty straightforward. Safety one. That's the one we've had some different opinions on talking about so far. I like the Jeremy Chin answer. I feel like he could bounce back this year. But, I mean, if Derwin is healthy and plays 15, 16, 17 games, it's going to be him for sure. He's just too talented not to. So Derwin is the safe answer there. And then corner, we've also talked about this a lot. I'm going to go with AJ Terrell. He doesn't have all the factors that some other guys do, especially guys that are in the AFC West, because that division is going to be so pass happy. And in terms of weather, except for basically KC, well, Denver too. They've got decent weather in two out of the four teams, and all the teams love to pass. It's going to be shitty in KC in the winter, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. In Denver, they got Russell Wilson now. So I feel like that the overall corner one probably will come out of the AFC West, but at price for production, AJ Terrell is my corner one this year because you don't have to pay anything for him, and he's spectacular. Moving on to Super Bowl winner. So a lot of the predictions have been Bills and Rams, and I got nothing against that. I am right there. I think Bills and Rams is the Super Bowl, and I think the Bills get over the hump this year, just like a lot of other people think that as well. I hope that's the Super Bowl. That'd be a great Super Bowl. So there's our stupid early predictions right there. All righty. So let's get into shifting gears. So favorite movies and TV shows. We've gotten a ton of good answers with this question, past 13 episodes. Favorite movies. I mean, Star Wars, Braveheart, Gladiator, Top Gun 1 and 2 were excellent. All the Marvel movies, typical. I don't have anything crazy. I'm not like a film nut to the point where I'm going to tell you something you haven't heard of. The normals. And then TV shows. Right now, I'm watching For All Mankind on Apple Plus or Apple, whatever it's called, TV. That's a great show. The Boys, obviously. Stranger Things, anything HBO. HBO has excellent shows. They do not put out bad shows. Tokyo Vice was really good. That was just out. We Own the City, The Wire, Sopranos. I'm watching The Pacific right now again. Just watched Band of Brothers again. True Detective, all those series, excellent. HBO does not make bad TV. So that's probably where I'm going for those. If I won the lotto, what would I do? I don't know, to be honest with you. There's part of me that probably would just want to quit everything and retire and, spend the day, I don't know, surrounded by cats or something. I don't know. It's possible. But I know me. I've got a week off this week and I'm already bored. I haven't even gotten to the Monday of the week off yet. I'm already trying to line up all this stuff for the week. If I don't stay busy, I get bored easy. So it's a fine line. I don't want to be too busy, but I also can't stand having nothing to do. So I would probably still, if not work, at least volunteer a little bit more than I do currently. So yeah, if I won the lotto, I don't think I'd retire completely. I'd still keep my foot in the door for volunteering or for working with people with addiction in some form or fashion. Okay, if I could time travel and see one event in history, I think I've mentioned this on here before, but it'd probably be the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand that set off World War One, because that one event, more than any other event in history, has led to the world that we see today, including what's going on in Ukraine right now. Um, World War One caused World War Two. World War Two led into the Cold War. That's Korea, Vietnam, right there. Eventually parlayed into the War on Terror, and all the events that we're seeing today. It all traces back to that one guy, Gabriel Princip, I believe was his name, that killed the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. That one event in history changed so many things. I feel like that's one of, if not the most important things to see in history. You could probably convince me JFK assassination, moon landing, stuff like that. The 60s definitely had some wild times, that's for sure. But if I had to say just one, it would be that one. Okay, alien question. We've asked this of a lot of people past 3 months or so, and I think you guys know me. I am solidly on the yep, universe is too big for us to be alone. That would just make no sense whatsoever. People can't even like comprehend how big the universe is. We're just one galaxy, and it's thousands of light years to get across that galaxy. There are billions of galaxies. Each galaxy has billions of stars. um, you know if only, what is it, like 3% of stars are capable of having a planet in the Goldilocks zone. That's still billions and billions of stars that could support life, support planets that could support life. So there's absolutely life out there. The problem is distance. It is, interstellar distances, even at the speed of light, take thousands of years to get across. So you would need to be a species that has the technology to get faster than the speed of light, which, I mean, theoretically is possible, but the amount of energy required to do it is just fucking crazy. So I think it's just a matter of distance. And then, logically, if you were that advanced and you came here and saw us, it'd be like me walking over an ant hill. Why am I going to screw with those ants? I don't care what they're up to, right? We're a bunch of stupid monkeys, beating each other with sticks and shooting each other with guns. Like they literally could not give a shit. Would be my bet. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's something out there. They're probably just not interested in us. So that's my take on that. Favorite football memory? Boy, there are a bunch. There have been some great moments that I've lived through, both in person and watching on TV. In person, I saw Eli Manning's first game against Michael Vick and the Falcons. Falcons won like 13-10, I think it was. I saw the triplets. I saw Aikman, Emmett, and Irvin back in the day. Geez, who else do we see? We saw Favre when he was on the Jets, beat the living piss out of the Rams in New York. That was pretty crazy. Oh boy. Saw the Browns, saw the Lions, so saw Stafford before he won his title. I've been to a ton of games. I used to go to at least one or two games a year for many, many years. So seen a lot of good football in person. But overall football memory, it's got to be not even the David Tyree catch, but the Plexico Burress touchdown in the '07 Super Bowl against the Patriots. Because I know as a Cowboy fan, I should hate the Giants, but I just can't. It was more important for the Patriots to not win that Super Bowl and not be a perfect team than it was for me to give a shit about a division rival. That Tyree catch was great, but a couple plays later when Eli floated it to the left side of the end zone and you saw that it was Plexico Burress open, you knew he was going to catch it and you knew the game was over. So that's a memory that stands out. There was a lot of hugging and celebrating, and yeah, that was a wild Super Bowl. We were so depressed and down before that Super Bowl started, me and all my buddies, because we were about to live in a world where the Patriots were 19-0, undefeated Super Bowl champions and the greatest team of all time. We thought there's no freaking way the Giants could win that game. We didn't even eat that Super Bowl. I mean, who doesn't eat during the Super Bowl? It's all about food, right? We just drank. We just drank the entire time. We forgot to eat. We were blackout drunk by the time the game got to the fourth quarter. Um, and that was one of the happiest memories. Patriots losing that game. That was awesome. Minneapolis Miracle was good too. Music City Miracle. I've seen all those when they happened on TV. A lot of good football memories. It's a great game. It really is. Favorite non-football memory? I don't know. I haven't really thought about this one. Probably be the birth of my niece, or getting my cat. Nothing crazy, nothing earth shattering. There have been a lot of good memories, but nothing like totally crazy. Life and sobriety is all about consistency and just doing the next right thing, and that doesn't lead to like huge gamble payoffs. It leads to a lot of good little happy moments, no huge happy moments, right? So yeah, nothing crazy, but lots of good little stuff. Okay, something hard you've overcome. What did you learn from it? I mean, I think this is an obvious answer right here. So yeah, I was in active addiction for about a decade. Opiates, alcohol, you name it. It led me down an extremely dark path, including death of friends from overdoses. Injuries sustained from encounters with drug dealers, stuff like that, debt, not working, disappointed family, friends, whatever. All the normal shit that happens in active addiction. I went through it, all of it, right? It is literally a living fucking hell. It is. I would not wish it on my worst enemies. And what's good, what the yin to that yang is, if you come out the other side of that, nothing fucking phases you. Nothing. I've been through hell. I've been through 10 years of hell. Some dipshit on IDP Twitter, making a snarky subtweet comment does not even fucking register on my radar, right? Like I've been to living hell for 10 years. Nothing phases me. Nothing. Um, I've come out the other side. I've got great perspective about it. I'm able to help other people with it now. That's super rewarding. I've got a job that values me and knows my history, does not use it against me. They look at it as a positive. I have that experience that I can share with other people that are suffering through the same thing and help them get to the other side. So I don't have to pretend to be anything. It's great. I don't have to bullshit my work. I don't have to bullshit my friends, my family. Everyone knows the truth, and I've come out the other side, and it's a beautiful thing. So I live a very free life now. It's a wonderful thing. Okay. What did I learn from it? I learned that you can do anything as long as you've had enough and you're willing to do something about it. Okay, and then the Zmag special here. What would your last words be if you're about to go out in a blaze of glory? I still don't know. Zmag sent me this question like a month and a half ago, and I still haven't figured out an answer to it. I don't have any catchphrases, really. I don't know. Maybe I'd like moon them or something. I don't know. Sorry, Zmags. I'll keep thinking on it. Okay, and then moving on to hot water here. So when drafting IDP defense, what's your typical approach? You guys know me. I could give a shit about linebackers. I grab positions of scarcity first. That means defensive tackle, then defensive end, then linebacker, then safety, and then corner last. I don't play in baby IDP leagues, so it's not DL, DB, LB. I mean, I do, but I don't prefer them. It's just like a variety is the spice of life thing. But if I'm playing a normal league, it's got full positions across the board because I've been doing this for 20 years and I don't need baby positions. So in a typical league like that, I'm drafting positions of scarcity first. I'm probably going to take it on the chin at linebacker for the first month, but I will get the waiver guys before everyone else does because I'm always paying attention. I'll be on top of it. I'll get them. I'll get that warm body production. I'll be fine. My linebackers may not be as good as your Roquan Smith, but it'll be almost as good, and I'll have paid nothing for it. And I'll have much better defensive tackles, much better defensive ends. So it'll even out and it'll probably work out in my favor. In general, I'm punting IDP till way at the end. I care way more about offense these days. I care way more about that backup quarterback in a super flex league, or that extra running back that's going to help me on a bye week or when there's an injury than I do about having a great IDP defense. That doesn't matter. I'll be able to piece that together through waivers because, once again, I'm paying attention. So IDP does not matter to me as much as it used to when it comes to team construction. Um, all that matters is your team needs to be ready for playoffs. You need to sneak in, and you got a chance. That's it. So that's my typical approach. Favorite platform is Yahoo, always will be. I like redraft more than Dynasty. Dynasty is fucking dumb these days. Sorry, guys. With a 68% injury rate, what's the point? Right? What is the point? You pay all this capital and make all these trades for guys that are gone 3 weeks into the season with a blown ACL or a torn Achilles or whatever. That's the modern NFL. It's all about waivers, replacements, and staying on top of things anyway in today's fantasy game. That's all redraft is. So I prefer redraft. And the best redraft site is Yahoo because they have a great platform. It's super easy. And they allow you to do full positions, not just baby positions like sleeper. So I've always been a Yahoo guy. If it's going to be Dynasty, it's going to be MFL because they're fully customizable. And I don't need the mascots and the colors and the nice UI. I need a good experience that's challenging. That's what I care about. So MFL and Yahoo would be the two preferred platforms from my point of view. And then fantasy Twitter thoughts. I think you guys have heard us all talk about this the past 13 weeks. Mike Woolard said it best. You control your own timeline. So I don't see anything I don't want to see, right? Anyone that's a dipshit is gone, blocked, muted. I don't see them. I don't see anyone associated with them. I don't even know what's happening with all that stuff. And it's beautiful. It's like none of that exists to me. And because it doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist to me. And it's a thing of beauty. So that's what I would recommend to anyone that's having issues with that. Stay with the people you like, get rid of the rest. You don't need it. All right, so that was the hot water segment. Let's get into wrap up. Okay, so upcoming projects this season. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the Cats of Fantasy Twitter article series. That's gonna be coming out probably in like a month or so. So anyone that's interested in joining that league, please DM me on Twitter at OrangeMan3142. If you hit me up on Discord with the site Discord, I'm probably not going to see it. I barely check that thing. So definitely go to Twitter or use the forum on the site. That actually, I check that occasionally. So yeah, please come on in. It's going to be an MFL league, likely Superflex full IDP, and all I need from you is a picture of your cat and some information about your cat and your draft strategy, and you will be featured in one of my articles on the Cats of Fantasy Twitter. So that is the upcoming project. What am I writing or doing this season? I'm just doing the corners. That's it. No monster this year. That is the first I'm announcing this. I've already pulled it from my profile. I've already pulled it from my author bio at IDP Guys. I don't have time for it. Plus, we've gotten to the point as a site where you can find all that information elsewhere. We have snap counts available immediately after every game. We've got guys doing waivers, which is what you guys are looking for in that monster article anyway. We've got guys doing injury reports, so I don't need to track that stuff anymore. Everything that is in that article is available elsewhere on the site. So that's where you're going to get it now because I don't have time for it. I've got other stuff to do and it's more important. So that's that. No more monster. I will be continuing the corners, streaming quarters article though, because I love it. It's fun. It's a fun format. It's a great article. And if it's always interesting to strategize on that stuff. If you can stream corner well, it's an X factor. You can win matchups like that, and other people aren't even paying attention to it. So that is the only thing I'll be writing this year. Podcast wise, be doing quite a bit. There'll be one with Tipster Gary, IDP Tipster, that will be doing the IDP Pros podcast. That'll be weekly, 1 hour a week in season. With Macri, probably be once a month doing the big picture view on the Big Nickel podcast for the IDP landscape during the season. Be doing at least 4 IDP preview shows with the IDP show fellas. And then, probably some gridiron rating stuff too with Gary and JJ and Craig. So more podcasts, less writing this year because of, full disclosure, a podcast is me. I log in, I talk for an hour, and I'm done. Writing the monster, even recording it, is 3, 4, 5 hours, and I don't have 3, 4, 5 hours. I've got other things to do, and you don't need me anymore. That's really the answer. You don't need me. Everything is on the site. We have so many new writers that want to make a name for themselves. Let them do that. Go read their stuff. Go get that information from them. I got other things. So apologies if that directly affects you, but it is what it is. That's what we're doing this season. Okay, anything we want to plug? Yeah, so sign up for the 2022 Autism Speaks IDP Invitational if you haven't already. That is available on idpguys.org. Obviously, that is an excellent tournament. You're grouped in divisions by years of experience for IDP. We're talking 120 teams. Great prizes at the end. I think it was like $1,000 in prizes last year. And for a great cause, right? So all the money from the fees, I think it's like a recommended $15 or $20 donation, goes to Autism Speaks. We've raised over $4,000 for them so far. And it's, anyone that knows me or knows Seahawks Dan knows that is our charity of choice because we work with kids with autism and really identify with them. And it's something that matters to us, so that's why it's the place we're sending the money to. So please go sign up for that. Take advantage of the Rookie magazine that should be publishing somewhere around the time this comes out. That is available in paper form or digital form through the website. Make sure you get the IDP draft kit. So that was a project that was worked on between us, the guys at the IDP show, DFF Trip, a bunch of other fellas all came together to work on that. That's going to get you set up for all your IDP drafts this season. And then, yeah, kids, stay tuned to the site. We've got literally in the off season, I think Nate talked about this, but there was, a tweet that he sent or he replied to that blew up when it was talking about, no one pays people to write and we do. And yeah, sure, it's $10 an article, but guess what? 99% of sites pay you nothing. You get quote exposure, unquote, right? We're at least giving you money. So there was a huge shebang about that. And the result of that, I think, a lot of people were not hoping for this result, but the result of that was our doors were flooded with people, coming here to be writers for us, to get their chance, to actually get paid to do this, to get their name out there. So yeah, we've got tons and tons and tons of new writers this season covering anything under the sun. For IDP, offense, Devi, whatever, the normal stuff we always talk about. So yeah, keep coming back to the site. Check those guys out. Let them help you win this year. I've done my goddamn part. Okay, I've done my part. So no more for me. The minimum freaking possible. So let them help you. They want to. So take advantage of that. And beyond that, I think that's pretty much everything to plug. But yeah, just keep checking the site, especially during the season. We're gonna have lots of good stuff coming out this year. And then once again, you can find me at Twitter at Orangeman3142. And do I think road rage is poop related? I do. You guys know this. That's why I've been asking this question the past 3 months. I feel like most road rage is the result of someone having to take a dump and just being frustrated that they're stuck in traffic or stuck behind someone driving slow, and they're gonna fill their pants up with dookie, so they flip out and have road rage. That is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, with that, thank you all for listening. See how fast this can go if we're not waxing poetic and we actually just get through the questions. 44 minutes even. You know, that's a note for you, Seahawks Dan, Mr. 2 hours and 5 minutes. I kid. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back next week with a real episode with a real guest. Once again, this was just filler because it's holiday week and I don't feel like doing jack shit. I've been deployed in Ohio the last 4 months for work and I just want to freaking sit home and play my PlayStation. So I'll see y'all next Monday, 7 a.m. Thank you for listening or not listening, whatever. Have a great 4th of July holiday and I will see you next week, 7 a.m. on Monday. Take care now. Bye bye.